Good afternoon, good morning, good evening. Welcome everybody to our Saturday edition. Today we are going to interview a couple of guests, and I welcome you to join this time with us.
I was dancing. I was getting it. I don't know about y'all, but yeah. Sorry about
I love
that.
the intro. That was fantastic.
No, serious.
Yeah. So, like I said earlier, we are going to have a quick discussion about, why we leave religion behind in the dust. My bottom. Let me just get my orientation. My bottom side, we've got Meltreefiddy. And on the other side below me, Baphometal, co-host Secular Rarity. How are you guys doing today?
Fantastic. How are you? How's everybody but Beth?
Shut up.
I'm excited. It's
So
going to be fun. This is probably the first show in a while where I knew I literally had to prepare nothing. For
the standards are so low.
Right. And that's what I was excited about. It was just like, just literally rolled right out of bed.
Underwear.
Right.
Yep.
Well, for everybody out there that it's your first time being introduced to Baph and Mel, we are sorry, but also
we are very sorry.
It'll be like this for the next hour. So make your decision now. No judgments. We're okay.
We expect it at this point. It's fine. God damn it.
Amazing.
Will we get the $20 via Venmo or?
Yeah. No, we got that.
Okay. Just
it's in the mail. It's in the mail.
It's in the mail.
From South Africa.
It's in the crypto NFT. It's in Dogecoin.
Right, guys. So let's jump into it. So let's talk a little bit about your background and how you grew up. Would you mind telling us? I think we can go one at a time, or if you guys just want to bounce off one another, tell us about your religious background. Did you grow up in a religion? Were you raised in a specific religion? And especially, how did it influence your formative years? If you were looking at it from an outside perspective, what kind of impact did that upbringing have on you,
Mr. Metal?
I think we should go at the same time. Okay, 3, 2, 1.
So we were both.
I was born and raised in the country of Peru, in South America. I came when I was 13 years old. Everyone is Catholic by default. You're just Catholic. That's the assumption. That's do. You go to church. Jesus on the cross everywhere. It's just part of the life, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I have an uncle who's a priest, Catholic priest, and my godmother was a nun. So I mean,
how does that work?
He was alright, but then I started realizing that he's either like made it in life or he's just a mooch. I think it's. I never saw him pay for anything. Every time he went on trips, like the religious community would like lend him a car, buy him meals. He'd show up to the house. It's like, hey, feed me. God will provide. That kind of crap I would see when I was growing up. So I was taken to church. I did my first communion. I went to Catholic school. But honestly, I never really believed any of it. It was just comical, weird to me. It's like, what's up with the little cracker? Why is Jesus bleeding? This is creepy. drinking the blood, and why do I have to confess my sins to this dude in the box? This is just weird. So I don't really think I actually was a believer to begin with. Definitely not in Catholicism. But then the concept of God itself, I always had questions about it. It just made no sense to me. It never made sense, even in actual like Catholic school. And I was the kid who would raise, his hand to ask questions, and the teacher would just, let's move on to the next topic, And then science class would make more sense. Yeah, we had biology class talking about evolution, but then we're also having Bible class the next period. It was the weirdest shit.
What?
Yeah, I swear, that's how it was.
Ricky!
Yeah, dude. Shut up, Captain Dadpool. He's not even a real captain.
Right? He's not even a real captain.
He's not even
He can barely work a flashlight. Okay, don't ask me how I know. Like,
whatever.
So it was like Catholics all the way down.
Yeah, so all of my family, you could say, is Catholic. It was probably around age 11, 12 that I was like, this is dumb. I don't believe any of this. But I'll just go with the flow, I guess. And just the older I got, the more I really saw the horrors that the church has done all throughout history. What has been done in the name of God, the killings, the conquests of countries. Where I'm from, the Spanish, right? They're just ramming a crucifix up people's asses. That's
literally.
Yeah.
And then living in this country, what they did to Native Americans, manifest destiny, slavery, all of these things fueled by this belief in this God that they can't even back up with evidence. As I started growing older, went to high school, I basically just declared myself atheist. And then I went to college and I started looking into the Atheist Experience. I started watching it around 2007. That's when I started watching the Atheist Experience. I'm like, that makes sense.
Wait a minute.
Pretty much. And as time went on, I became a little more anti-theist as well. It's just like, this is dumb. I'm seeing how it's affecting our government, how they're making policies based on this religion that is actually taking rights away from people. So fuck this shit. I hate it. I became more of a rebel kid. And then I kind of left it alone for a while until I don't know, something happened. I opened TikTok and met this bitch and started. I asked her, hey, you want to do a podcast? I see you have a lot of followers.
And then I lose my account, and then here we are. I can't even get 1,000 people. I bamboozled you, bitch.
So now I'm stuck in this situation because originally she was the one with more followers, but now she has 2,000 or
not
200.
Even. I just lost my account, so I only have like 200 followers.
Just 200.
Now. I'm slowly getting there,
But whatever, I guess we're all here for the ride.
I think that segue was just beautiful because it was like you told us your story. You knew we were going to get to Mel, and like you transitioned that by just going. So I met this bitch. And,
God damn it!
It's funny because during the pandemic, what do you do, right? So I opened TikTok because a friend of mine told me, "Look, here, play with this." Like a little kid, when they're bored, they give you the iPad. It's like, what is this shit?
Do you have any games?
Do you have any games? Do you have Angry Birds? And he shows me TikTok, and I'm like scrolling like a dumbass. I was like, why are these teenagers dancing the same dance every single video?
So annoying.
This is weird as shit. And then I found, I'm pretty sure it was Jeff the Atheist Troll.
Yes.
Big shout out to Jeff.
Amazing.
Hi, Jeff.
And I was like, wait a damn minute. I need to start making atheist videos too, because this is fucking cool. So then I started building a channel, and then I found her, and then I just told her, hey, we should do a podcast. The rest is history. We've been doing the podcast for 2 years now.
2 years? Yeah.
YouTube has gotten just slightly worse.
Slightly worse. Slightly.
Yeah.
We aim to be like the worst. So
Well, that's good.
We have goals.
We have standards. They're low, but they're there.
It's like doing the limbo.
This is why I'm so
just
flexible.
laying on the floor. just laying on the floor.
I'm usually on my back anyway, so
right.
You know?
Standard. Yeah.
At the end, you're not dancing; you're just using your butt cheeks to move along.
Well, okay. Before we get canceled, Mel,
don't come to me. Like you're gonna get canceled.
What's your religious background?
My religion is so I grew up non-Tom Christian. Okay, so my father, my amazing piece of shit father, he's the one who actually went into the religion first. He's Guatemalan. I'm half Guatemalan, as you can tell, because I'm so pasty. So he got into it first, and then my mother and my sister and I, we were not into it whatsoever. We went to church every Sunday, that kind of bullshit. And my mom, there was some abuse happening. So my father was like not keen to being embarrassed of having a non-believer of a wife. So shit went down, and it was like overnight that she believed. This bitch walked out of church. I remember it very distinctly. Like she did not want to be there, but you know, abuse will do shit to you. But so we started going even more, like Wednesdays and Saturdays, sometimes Sundays and Saturdays. So it was like almost 3 times a week. So when I was younger, so I used to have a really bad stutter, to the point where I couldn't even say my name. So looking at me now, like I have a fucking podcast. I have a voice, you know. When I was younger, because I had a stutter, I could not speak my mind. I had an opinion, but I could not talk. I could not get the words out correctly. I still can't to this day, but it's fine. It's fine. We're not going to talk about that. But shut up. So my dad would lecture us for like 3 hours of just the bullshit that is the Bible. And I had to sit there and take it, and I hated that, and I couldn't speak up. And I like Beth, I don't think I ever really believed, but I was more of a people pleaser, so I wanted to make my parents proud, you know.
Me too.
Yeah, see. But so when I was like 15 or 16, I got baptized, only because the youth pastor was hot. So it was just, you know, teenage hormones will do that too, you know.
Yeah, letter to penthouse.
That's what I was hot priest. And then I started with my dad. We would teach 5-year-olds. And the best part of that was listening to VeggieTales and still being currently obsessed with VeggieTales. Because I'm into musicals, and that's a whole other thing. But anyway,
it's catchy. It
is catchy. Yeah. Like the pirates who don't do anything. Yes, please. Yeah. Like cheeseburger song. Yes. Anyway,
every so often I will waltz with a potato. But,
yes,
you know, it happens. It happens now.
The hairbrush song. Yes, I love my lips. Hello. Anyway,
it's like the podcasters that don't do anything.
Can we make that a song? Anyway, so all this time, like, I don't really think I believed in anything. It was just, I prayed once in a while thinking maybe, but like, as I came to the realization that my dad was hiding behind the Bible to verbally, physically, mentally abuse my mother and others, you know, using to hide, to be a racist, and all the wonderful Trumpers, you know, because they ended up being Trumpers, you know, conspiracy theories and all that bullshit. So as I grew older, I realized this bullshit. I don't want to be anything like them. And my father, actually, they were the ones who made me who I am. Because they try to force that shit down my throat, and I was like, nope, sorry, I don't want to be anything like you. You are hateful. You abuse people. You are fake as shit, you know. So I looked. It all stems from them, because it all, like, what I looked for in a partner, in a husband, like, was not my father. Atheist, caring, not racist. You know, like, just the whole, like, list. Yes, I have standards. Okay, not for the show, but I do have standards. But fast forward to like 2019 TikTok, like the whole panini happened, and that's when I actually, because I kind of forgot about it because I moved out. I was away from home. And then I went on TikTok and downhill from there. I finally learned truly what an atheist is. And I was like, that's me. So I didn't start on TikTok as an atheist. I started as a cosplayer mostly. And then I transitioned to, atheist content. And my first account back in 2020 was like 26,000 followers. And that's when he thought he had somebody, right?
This dick.
Dick. And then I'm on my 10th account now. Yeah. But my main goal is to since I have a voice now, I want to be a voice for the voices who were in my position at a young age. Even now, some people cannot come out as an atheist. And I want to try to normalize atheism. And I'm lucky enough to be in a position where I can. I have a very big support group. I have an amazing husband, a decent co-host. But I want to be a voice for the voiceless. So that's where I'm at. So
amazing. That app is a fucking black hole in space, I'm telling you. Incredibly dense and nothing escapes the gravity.
Wait, what hole?
You open TikTok and you're gone. That's an hour of your life. An hour of your life, that's gone.
I mean, TikTok's all my whole news.
Right, so when I reflect on my journey, I don't know if everybody remembers it like this. For most people, it's more like a gradual process of letting go of all the fucking baggage and stuff that you accumulate growing up, But for me, there was a definite linchpin, there was this moment where I realized, not all religions can be right at the same time.
Right.
They can all be wrong at the same time, and it was like 10 minutes later and I said, fuck this shit.
But we all had the same conclusion. Just fuck this shit. That's the atheism motto.
What was the linchpin? What was a linchpin for you guys? Was there like a clouds opening and reason speaking to you moment, or what?
Well, for me, when I was teaching the 5-year-olds, teaching them the bullshit, I was like, this is not good. I don't want to teach this. And so that just kind of snowballed into be like, fuck this. So I think that was my main moment.
Yeah, I could see that, especially as you were saying, you never really were super deep into it. And so you always kind of knew this stuff that was being taught was gross, and so it was like, I don't want to put this on another generation.
Yes. Yeah. But I'm glad I got out.
Baph, was it kind of like a gradual thing for you, or was there like a single haha?
I never really had what you call faith. I don't think I ever did. I've always been very critical, very analyzing things, So when something didn't make any sense, I just didn't really believe it. So this is how I've been my whole life since I was a child. I learned to read really quickly. Apparently, that's what I'm told. Shut the fuck up. I'm also ESL, okay?
And I have ESPN. What the fuck? That doesn't make
English is not my first language, okay?
He uses that excuse all the time.
I do.
Abuse.
Sometimes when I made this announcement, I said Skeptic Haven. I fucked it up, Anyway, what I was saying is, I've always been like a critical thinker since I was younger. Yeah. And I never really had any kind of faith, but in reality, when I was I would say 17, maybe 17, I read The God Delusion by Richard Dawkins. And it was so fucking good, and everything just made sense, and I felt more comfortable calling myself an atheist. It just kind of like all the science was like, there's no room for a God. It's just nonsensical to me. So from then on, like I said, I started watching the Atheist Experience and learning more arguments, but it wasn't really like an aha. But definitely. I would say that book made a difference in my life because it kind of put things into place a little bit,
And if you actually read the Bible,
Well, there's that too. And I had never read the Bible until like in the last couple of years. I've been like looking at it more closely and learning from other people who actually read it for a hobby, which I don't understand. I'd rather do other things.
There's some really sexy passages. I don't know if you remember about the donkeys and whatnot.
Yes. The emissions.
And then Song of Solomon, the one about
Isn't there one about like boobs?
That one.
Yeah.
That's the one. Okay.
Solomon.
This is Solomon. Oh my god.
Very sexy.
Yes.
The Song of Songs.
Song of titties. But yeah.
There's also some good action in there too. It's not just all sex. Like there's some good like fight scenes and so forth.
I honestly I can't wait for Passion of the Christ 2. Fucking around. Personally, they love their torture porn. Let me get like they are. That's kinky shit.
Don't spoil it for me. I haven't finished it. I wanna wait till the movie comes out.
Is it too soon? 2,000 years?
I think the whole thing about Jesus Club is that they take the fan fiction too far.
I know they are the worst fan base ever. Like talk about toxic. Holy shit!
I personally don't think Jesus was a real dude, like in flesh, but. Hey, if he was, I'm also okay with that. But is he the Son of God? Did he walk on water? No, I don't think so. Would he come back like a zombie? I don't think so.
It's more
prove it, right? Yeah. All of those stupid things that I just find so childish is like there's this book of fantasy of stories that doesn't mean all of it is real. You know, it's like come on, historical fiction is a thing. Just like Fox News. So there's that. It is a thing. You can use alternative facts, right?
Right.
We can fabricate a story based on certain events that actually took place. That doesn't mean the whole fucking thing is real. So when you're saying it's the infallible word of God and this is like actual God speaking through man and writing this book.
There is one thing that is real in the Bible. The donkey emissions
are real. That is true.
That's 100% real. Tested and approved.
The only thing that's reliable in the Bible, I think, is the pages, the numbers in the pages. That's it.
For toilet paper, for smoking, a little bit.
And here we have a frog made out of a Bible page. This one, it's like a leap.
Oh, look!
See, it's a leap of faith.
It's a leap of faith.
Oh, jeez, that's good. Oh man,
I feel disgusting.
Yeah,
can't believe I said that.
Anyway.
So you Baph, you mentioned the reading the God Delusion. Was there like any other people or specific organizations or anything that just resonated with you?
Not really. I was like a loner, honestly. I wasn't really seeking it out anyway. It just didn't feel like something that I really needed to be relating to other people about. It was really recent, honestly, when I started this podcast and I went to the atheist convention for the first time, and I was like, oh shit, like people actually come together, this makes more sense. And people are actually advocating for separation of church and state and things like that. So, but not really. I didn't really seek out any type of organization like that.
Yeah. And you, Mel?
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
Ditto.
You see, this is the thing. This is the thing that I think that we as atheists can learn from the religion and the religious is that they are incredibly good at organizing and mobilizing the fan base. And the only thing that atheists have in common is that we lack a God belief. The religions, they cultivate an identity. They cultivate an identity that people tend to belong to, and that makes it very easy for them to organize and mobilize people. You see it especially in the United States, where entire blocks of voters can be mobilized by a single person saying some stupid shit on on the pulpit, and everybody votes in a certain way. So I don't know. Sometimes it's a catch-22 for me. I don't. I'm tossing it both ways. There's this need within me that says like, I rebel against organization. Fucking, I just come out of some religious organization, and I don't want any of that fucking shit with me. But then on the other hand, we start creating communities of atheists and of like-minded people, and that solidarity that you find in a shared cause and a shared interest. That's the thing that that I gravitate towards. But
sorry, I'm laughing at his comment, Captain Deadpool.
Please ignore him. We apologize for him.
Jesus Christ.
I call dibs. I have stated from day one, Rick. You know that. I call dibs.
Deadpool has been on it.
We have a toy for that. Just
I have a poster. Okay. You can have sloppy seconds and thirds. It's the second coming of Jesus, and it's by my hands and mouth and everything else. So,
well, like you said, I for many years I was like, I don't believe in God. That's it. We're good. I don't care. I really don't care. But the older I'm getting, the more I notice how religion has a voice at the table, how they have a place, how they're able to make decisions for other people who are not religious. So representation matters. And I am more leaning towards the organizing, part now. This is recent in the past few years, honestly.
And it's amazing that TikTok, like, I see new people every day from the different religions and faith, like, coming together, and the community on TikTok is massive, and it's getting bigger and bigger, and I fucking love that. So we definitely, I think, hopefully, like, in the future at different cons or whatever, we would have more of the TikTok people come to physical locations and organize and all that. But yeah, TikTok is, as much as I fucking hate that app, it's great for community. So
we built a good community, I would say. And we went to the convention last year.
We met so many amazing people.
Yeah, we met a lot of people. Hey, we met through TikTok. It felt like we already knew each other, but we just never met in person. It was pretty cool.
What?
Like a reunion almost, right?
There's some people, I'm sure, that are with us or now or watching in the future that may not really understand exactly why you're burning through so many accounts, Mel. Could you kind of explain a little bit so people understand kind of the battle that it actually is?
As one of our friends, Cameron, was it Cameron? Pretty sure it was him. I am chaotic evil. If you play D&D, I was posed as chaotic evil. So what I do, and I think that's why we get along so well, is like, we are blasphemous as fuck. What I've been talking about earlier, like, there's a poster on our merch store that has me pegging Jesus in the ass. So
and that's available for purchase now.
Yes, it is. It is. There's a John 3:3 Mel 3:16.
You're right back.
There's a Mel 3:16 on Jesus's ass. He's also ball gagged. So so it's shit like that. And I'm a plus-sized atheist woman who shows off her titties mostly because my bottom hand was anyway. But yeah, no, they don't fucking like me. So I get mad, especially towards the beginning. The children, the literal 10-year-olds, mass reported me. They had like Discords and shit, and they would organize. Speaking of organization, they will mass fucking report me, and others too. Like Jeff is on his 15th account or some shit now. I'm catching up, But yeah, no, it's like, because I want to, like, as I said earlier, be a voice for the voiceless, but I do it in the more chaotic way. I do comedy, as I think I'm hilarious. Very dirty sexual shit, like, but the thing is, Christians are so sexual. Their songs are so, like, come inside me, Lord, come on. How can I not, like,
they knew what they were doing.
What?
They knew what they were doing.
They know what they're doing, and they're fucking freaks.
But here's
the
Holy
Spirit fill you up. I mean,
right. So here's the thing.
I will, like,
and I agree with what she's saying, and also to add to that is that we see a lot of these religious child pastors, which is super weird.
Literally.
And they have like 200K.
Mm-hmm.
And it's okay for them to go and say gay people are going to go to hell and trans people are not people. Right. And they can say shit like that in another religion and they don't get banned.
Right.
But then we maybe stitch a video or reply to a video and call it out, and we're the ones who get banned. And I've noticed that shit.
And it's weird because when I call somebody out for like trying to fat shame me, I get taken down for harassment and bullying. I'm like, motherfucker, look at the comment. I've gotten so many death threats because of what I do. Like,
the double
it's shit like that. Exactly. They're allowed to spread their hate, but I question their beliefs and maybe fuck their God every once in a while. I get taken down. Like, come on.
Yeah. I think there was even something recently. Seth Andrews, I think, got like a suspension on Facebook because he had like shared a post that some major Christian had shared, and again, just like you were saying, Baff, it was just completely homophobic. I mean, outright calling for violence. And he reshared it and said, hey, this is disgusting, this is horrible, and Facebook was like, you violated our terms.
What's up with that?
You violated the law.
So there's definitely double standards, and we see that every fucking day,
and it's very tiring. And
like my videos, they don't get as much views anymore. I used to get thousands sometimes. I don't even get to 300 sometimes. So you can tell, you can feel it. There is some bullshit going on. So it's also one of those things is like, do we let him win or do we fight back? I don't know.
The fight is exhausting.
It is exhausting.
I'm not the kind of guy that sits down, even if
right.
Yeah, exactly. So if you ban me 15 times, I'm gonna come back 15 times too. So.
I have so many fucking emails that I've made to sign up with.
Exactly. But that's how I see it. And I agree with Mel on that.
Yeah.
Right. Let's talk about activism. You guys involved, in any activism? This can be anything like online, in person.
Or me.
Not in person, and where I live, I'm not gonna disclose my state, but there really isn't like an atheist community necessarily. I guess my form of activism is speaking out the bullshit, calling out the inconsistencies, calling out the hate, and by having I have two accounts on TikTok and having a podcast, I call that activism. And also, we're going to start getting more involved by going to the convention and networking and all that. But we're not necessarily involved with like political or anything like that. We're actually associated.
At the end of the day, this, it's not the this is not the activism Olympics.
Right.
We're trying to get an idea of my form of activism is being that big stone in some motherfucker's shoe. That's my form of
activism.
Exactly. Yep.
And you're not going to be able to take a single step without thinking of me.
And I might not affect 10,000 people's way of thinking, but if I am able to change someone's mind, or at least plant the seed and make them think about things differently. Like I may be mocking something, but I am coming from a more critical, logical way of looking at things. It's like, if you fucking believe in Noah's Ark, that's fucking dumb. I will make fun of it. And then I start asking those questions, right? Well, where do they poop? How do they keep them apart? So like the little,
what do they eat?
What do they eat?
Right.
It's like, it just makes no fucking sense. And sometimes that's the first domino for somebody.
Yeah.
And I have been told by not a lot of people. I'm not gonna lie and inflate my numbers, but at least maybe 3 or 4 people have actually told me, hey, you know what? I started watching your videos, made me think about things. And that gives me satisfaction, and that to me is activism.
Yeah.
Right.
Like,
It's like that moment that you know you've arrived when your critics
right.
are complimenting you.
Right.
Then you know you've arrived.
Like my activism is TikTok mainly, but I recently my husband and I went to our first local atheist event, so that was an amazing experience as well. You know, we did the con last year, where we're going again this year, because we usually go to nerd cons, you know, like dress up and all that. I mean, I'm still dressed up in this con too, but yeah. So like my thought process is, I am not here to try to deconvert you. I am just trying to get you to think critically about your religion, about your faith.
Exactly.
Like he said, planting the seed. Like I like back in my main account, I had a lot of people like say like, hey, I'm on the fence, or thank you for speaking out, makes me think about more about it. And so yeah, that is my main goal. I'm not trying to deconvert you, because that's, you do you, but you know what, let me ask you a couple questions. And they hate questions. Usually questions, snowball into actually deconversion and all that fun stuff, and deconstruction. So but yeah, having the podcast, I really like, we don't have a huge audience, but as long as it reach one person, I'm very happy. It's 100% worth it. And we just, the whole point of the podcast was to just basically expose the bullshit and let everybody know that you are not alone. If you are trying to leave your faith, deconvert, you are not alone. Here's this person's experiences, and this is how they handled it. And that is what I love about our show. As little as it is, I love it.
A different person each episode.
Yeah.
We're on episode 97 or something like that. So we have interviewed like 97 different people. It's been awesome.
Yes.
And each person has a different story. And we both learned so much from each individual person, because maybe the reasons why they left the religion are different.
Right.
There's different reasons. Some person tells us was because it didn't make sense. Some tells us because the community was toxic. But we're learning so much. And in the last 2 years or 2 years prior, I didn't know all of these perspectives that I personally did not experience.
Right.
So Ryan, we popped some cherries there, huh?
That's what I like.
We love Ryan.
Fuck yes.
And we got to meet her in person, and such a lovely person. Hilarious. I hope you go to AACon and we get kicked out together.
Yes, we get harassed by Christians together.
But yeah, so what the fuck was I saying? I don't even know. Water emoji there.
I mean,
we made her laugh one time that I'm convinced she peed her pants. We're gonna be there in April. Oh my god, we're gonna have so much fun, and I'm excited.
100% bringing Lilith again.
Yeah,
because I need more pictures of Jesus on their knees in front of me.
Learning from so many different people. Each individual person's experience is different. And that's a big lesson for us, or for anybody, I think, that we should always strive to learn a person's perspective and understand where they're coming from. Don't fucking tell somebody you weren't a real Christian. You didn't have enough faith. Oh, you can't just leave because the religion wronged you. You need to seek God. I'm like, bitch, understand the person's perspective first.
They always dismiss the church abuse, and it's not about the abuse, it's about the people, and you have a relationship with Jesus. Bitch, no, he didn't give me any chicken nuggies.
If Jesus wants a relationship with me, he needs to take me out for dinner first.
He's a cheap date, tacos.
Relationships usually involve two people.
Or three. We don't
If you're polyamorous, we don't judge.
We encourage. As long as there's consent, we're good.
If you believe in the Trinity, are you in a polycule at that point? Does that make you, if you're having a relationship?
But it's the same person, though.
Huh?
Would it be?
Elliot, what you don't understand is the Trinity is like shampoo, 3-in-1 shampoo.
Oh.
3 ingredients, 1 shampoo.
Okay.
Duh!
Oh my god.
I do like the thought of like an infomercial that's like, now get your gods all in one. 3 different versions.
I'm writing this down. What was it? We're gonna do a commercial. Oh my god. It's just like Christian Mingles, but like Christian poly, I don't know, Christian thruples.
What would you call the Christian Tinder app?
Ooh.
Trinity. Trinity Connect. I don't know.
That's an interesting. I'm surprised. Like, okay, listen. I am very upset that they had it. You know, Pureflix. They had a chance to call it Cruciflix.
Damn.
They missed an opportunity.
Wow.
What a missed opportunity that
Right?
was.
That's they're so lame and uncreative. Like,
That's good. Seriously.
fuck, man.
That's good. Wow. Wow. I mean, we're dropping in viewers as we're speaking, but I really valued that one.
You know, Mel, why are you not this funny on the podcast? This is just
Okay.
very unusual of you.
Yeah. You know, like, to circle back to activism, you know, like it's part of what you guys do very well is creating that space, that platform where people feel comfortable to express themselves freely.
Yes.
Because, you know, the thing about religion is it stifles individual expression and free.
Yes.
You know, it stifles your ability to express yourself freely because you are expected to conform. There's an idea, a dogma, principles or shit that you need to conform yourself to. So it really doesn't care much for individuality. And the fact that we've got such diverse atheist voices all over the planet now, creating these spaces where people can, you know, freely express themselves, interact with other people. I think this is going to be the death nail in the coffin of religion, to be very frank and honest with you.
Yep, 100%. And I like.
Sorry.
I was just gonna mention like the whole other point also with the podcast with TikTok. Like, I want to make sure that everybody knows that nothing is sacred, not even your fucking holy book. I will tear that shit up. Like you, So that's another thing. Like, I will mock your God. Your God ain't gonna do shit.
Yeah. And for those who might criticize that mockery doesn't get us anywhere, I disagree. I think mockery is a way of taking away power from something that is, you know, considered whatever higher than us. Right. Where has respect for religion gotten us? I mean, look at it.
Get a respectable religion.
Right?
Beliefs don't deserve respect just because you hold them. So fuck off.
And feel free to believe what you want, right? Feel free
absolutely.
Believe what you want. However, don't expect me to have respect for your beliefs, especially if they're based on intolerance, if they're based on discrimination, taking rights away. I don't want anything to do with that. And if you don't like it, if you don't like it, turn the other cheek.
Or clap.
Or clap the other cheek.
Clap the other cheek.
I think you should clap the other cheek. But
if you're trying to take my rights away and other people's rights away, like, it's not a respectable religion at all.
Right.
Like, how dare you ask for respect? Fuck you and fuck your God.
Yeah, yeah. I find so often it's, you know, on one side you have somebody coming strong and you know being critical and mocking, but on the other side you have somebody literally advocating for the death of people, and it's like
right.
I kind of don't feel like this is equal, right? Like, okay, sure, could they be nicer? I guess, but also they're mocking somebody that's literally calling for genocide. I think we don't have to be so kind in that moment, right?
Right.
Like that's a fair.
They all want to be like pro-life, but then like they will kill unbelievers. You know, like toward the other cheek.
The other cheek.
Look at the tree.
That's good. That's good. That is good.
I can't twerk. It's fine. I have nothing to twerk.
I have tried twerking. It's not a good look on me.
Okay. All right.
I'd pay to see that. I'd pay to see that.
Yeah. You know, when it comes to, I can tell you guys are full of passion and full of fire, you know, but if you can...
Passion for Christ.
You got the hots for JC.
I got a heart on for him. He wants to be in my heart. I have a heart on for him, you know.
You can take my wheel.
I'm going to get this question out if it kills me. I'm telling you.
Go Go for it, Dean. Take it away.
Do it.
What are you passionate about promoting? We find a lot of atheists are very passionate about, for example, teaching people critical thinking skills, teaching them about logic. Is there anything like that you are passionate about promoting or plugging into your channel? And besides the obvious sense of humor, it's fabulous. I could sit and listen to you guys on repeat for all.
No, he thinks we're funny.
Oh my god!
Finally, one person.
Finally.
Like I mentioned, mockery, yes, but also seeing it from that perspective, like I said, taking power away and not necessarily having to respect a belief system just because someone tells you to. Right. Don't bow down. No gods, no masters, no kneeling just because you're being told. Just be yourself, believe in yourself. That's the message I like to always, promote. It's all within you.
And you don't need religion to be a good person. As much as they scream and cry about it, no, you don't need a fucking God to be a good person.
But Mel, where do you get your morals from? I mean,
I get my morals from Jeff, actually.
Hell, Jeff! You're not supposed to go and have orgies with animals in the street if you don't have religion. I mean,
I don't do it in the street. Well, you're a degenerate.
You don't do it in the street. Keep it in your own home, okay? Yeah. God, stop shoving it down my throat. Wait.
It never ceases to amaze me how people can think that. It's so obvious when you think about it that morality comes from societies, because every single society has a different set of morals.
Yeah.
What's moral in Sweden is not a fuck moral in Kenya. So I mean, it's so obvious when you look at it from that perspective. Mm-hmm. And people go like, but how without the desert god of the Jews, how do you know you have to wipe your ass? I mean, get the fuck out of here.
Oh my god.
Right.
Oh my
exactly.
God. Yep. Fucking A.
Right. It's time to get real. Let's talk a little bit about the negative impact that religion has, on people. And it's not necessarily the overtly, people being thrown out of their houses type of thing, but it has a very distinct psychological impact on people. People tend to live in this bubble of fear and control. And if you guys can maybe reflect, on the negative impact that religion has had on your life.
So my sheer existence as a woman has been affected by religion.
That's like half of the human race, right there.
Right. Just trying to take bodily autonomy away and just it's very frustrating, but I lost my train of thought there, sorry. I see how religion people's fear in hell can live with them. From what we've have interviewed with people, that single thing alone can affect them their whole entire life, no matter if they deconstructed it. Like there's that, it's all about control. It's like, as we all know, religion is all about control, and fear is their main source of control. So it's all like little branches everywhere, and that is their main source of bullshit. So
yeah, definitely.
I remember as a child having nightmares of fucking burning in hell. I'm telling you, it's like it's such, it's like, there's no kind way to put it. It's emotional abuse. It's emotional torture.
Indoctrination is abuse. I will die on that hill. Indoctrination is abuse. It's child abuse.
Yeah. So, and there's so much of religion that is based on that, and is this incentive structure. Is this you do good simply because you don't want these horrible punishments. You don't be a good person just for the sake of trying to be a good person. In fact, you can't, because you're a piece of shit, because that's how the loving God made you, by the way.
Like I find it just funny that the Christians will tell me I'm at peace because I know the Lord. Bitch, no, you live in fear. I am the one who lives in peace. I don't fear this God that's going to fucking kill me and smite me and destroy my whole family because I looked at, Dean with lust, like, like, get fucked. No, you are fucking hypocrites and liars. And the Christian love is the fakest love I have ever seen in my entire life.
True.
So
true.
Yeah, sorry.
And Dean really is rocking that shirt today. So it's honestly, come on. What kind of all-knowing God would let Dean wear that shirt on camera?
I need to cut up my eyes,
and expect us not to lust. That's just, come on, God. That's on you. That's on you.
Way to go, Dean.
And Beth, you?
Honestly, I don't think like religion has necessarily, I'm sure it does, and I need to talk to it in therapy probably at some point. But I don't think off the top of my head I can necessarily say that it has affected me negatively necessarily. I can't really think of a concrete example.
Yeah.
I don't know, Dean. I don't know.
That's fine,
It's such a male thing to say. God.
Be all macho about it. It's fine.
Yeah.
We all like being real.
Like everybody experiences it differently, but.
There was some type of like fear, I guess you could say, but not. It wasn't so much like religious, but growing up, it was just my mom being like fucking crazy. But she's cool, but Hispanic, I don't know if you know.
No, I get it. And what about your community? Do you see like a negative impact of it on your community? Do you see, where we live in Africa, like these preachers they're something else. They have people like fucking roaming the lawns, eating the grass. And shit. I'm sure you've seen that shit online, like it's a different breed of psychological harm that they cause to entire communities.
Totally.
Right. Yeah.
And that's a lot of the things, like I said, in the last 2 years doing this podcast, interviewing people, learning about their experiences. I never gone through that level of trauma, and it makes me really empathize with, other people more. So it has grown my empathy, I guess. So that's a positive thing.
Wait, you care about people? Holy shit.
I do.
See, he's learning to love.
I have to do it for my job too. So there's that.
The dark side has sparked your heart.
Right, he grows a spoon. Every year his heart grows bigger. Oh. God damn it.
Well, some people don't know this about me is that I'm actually a licensed social worker. I got my master's degree in 2020. I currently work in a hospital in the medical field because that's where hospitals are, in the medical fields. Right?
I thought they were in buildings.
Medical
fields.
He's
though.
right. Yeah. Master's degree, my ass. What the hell?
Anyway, the reason I mentioned that is because sometimes it can be difficult, right? When you encounter a situation in which religion is getting in the way of their own healthcare, right? So it hasn't happened very often, but I met some people, like for example, in the pediatric clinic. Oh, we don't believe in vaccinations, and I know it has to do with the political crap, but it also has to do with religion, right?
But they're like twinsies.
And that feeling that I can't force somebody to vaccinate their children. I can force someone to make a decision that might be beneficial to them, and they're making the wrong decision based on wrong reasons. That to me is like, it creates this conflict inside of me. So sometimes I encounter those situations.
Yes.
Yeah. So, we need to start like circling this into a conclusion now, because I want to be mindful of everybody's time.
We're so focused on the unfocus, the lack of focus.
So, I always like to ask people, as a point of self-reflection, if you could speak to young Beth or young Mel and give them some sagely advice, if you could just like plant that seed, what was the one thing you would change, to speed up this whole journey? What would have made it like go a little bit quicker for you, in this process? I mean, for me, it was just like, don't trust fucking any authority, my friend, because they're telling bullshit. They're telling bullshit to you.
Right.
People in positions of trust and power that
the power.
You know, you must be really skeptical about that. You know, those people have such a level of control over your life that you need to be also skeptical about that.
Right. For me, I would tell my younger self that don't be a people pleaser, because people will fuck you over so quickly and you're just left in the dust. And that was my personal main thing, is because I wanted them to be proud of me, and just seeing, like, I really wish that I could talk to my back then. Well, even now, but that's a whole other thing. But I could talk. I wish I could talk to my mother more about in the past. Don't be afraid, like, because I know some situations, like when you're younger, you're in under their roof and their rules, bullshit. But I wish I could
different power dynamic.
Right. I wish I could have done it secretly, like have a private conversation with my mom. It's like, you don't need to believe this shit. Like, there's a whole backstory with that. But I would tell myself, don't be a people pleaser and try to speak out more. But even though I had a stutter growing up, it was very, very, very difficult for me to talk. So that would be my main thing that I would tell my younger self.
Yeah.
For me, I was pretty skeptical since I was a kid. So in terms of belief and religion and deconversion, I'm pretty comfortable where I'm at in terms of the process that I went through, which wasn't that much of a process to begin with. But in terms of other things, I guess I could tell myself to, because I used to be more shy when I was young, believe it or not. I was not as outgoing.
I don't believe that.
No,
I don't believe that for a second.
I'm not shitting you.
Lies.
No, I'm not even kidding. I didn't have a lot of friends. I was very.
You still don't. What are you talking about?
You could say sheltered. So I guess this is my way of saying, fuck you all. I'm going to do what I want now, right?
Yes.
Take control of my own life.
Yes.
But in terms of advice, I guess an important one would be to also say to myself, I guess, listen to other people, understand their perspectives more before you pass judgment on them. And that has been definitely a lesson by listening to other people's anecdotes and, experiences with religion in this case. So, yeah.
Yeah. Amazing.
Yeah. And I'm sorry, the night bots commented about recovery from religion. We always give a shout out to recovery from religion on our show.
Yes.
184,
Therapy.
I doubt it.
Yes.
They're amazing. Big shout out to Gail Jordan and Dr. Daryl Ray, recoveryfromreligion.org. Amazing organization. They have volunteers. You can call like 24 hours, apparently. It's fucking awesome.
Go to therapy, people.
Yeah.
Please go to therapy.
Yeah. Religious trauma is a real thing.
100%.
Yes. It blows my mind. It shouldn't be. It's one thing we shouldn't be traumatized about, right? It just makes no fucking sense.
Then Christians are like, that's not real. That's not real. What are you talking about? Bitch, watch the podcast.
I think it's something visceral inside of me. The words like religious counselor always kind of make me throw up a little in my mouth. When I hear somebody be like, "Oh," it's like, "Oh, what do you do?" And it's like, "Oh, I'm actually I'm a counselor for couples," and it's like, "Oh, that's cool. Like, so you have degrees and stuff?" And they're like, "Oh, no, I'm at the Baptist church." Oh, sorry. God, I'm so sorry.
I have a patient like that in my panel at the hospital, and she's like, "Oh yeah, I'm like a psychologist, and I went to this Christian college." And then she starts talking. I'm like, "Oh God." And good thing I was wearing a mask, because
you can throw up privately. That's like just an oxymoron right there. Like,
yeah.
No, well, you guys have been an absolute delight, and
thank you.
Really enjoyed this conversation. I'm sure that we're going to see loads and loads more from you guys. Do you guys want to plug your social media if you have anything to promote for us there?
It looks like they already have our link trees, or our beacons.
They've got that on. So where's the first way? Where's the one that we can find you on?
If you're on TikTok, just search Baphometal, just like that. And I'm the only Baphometal on TikTok. For Mel, it's more challenging because she's
This week I have the Great Millennium is my account right now. I don't know how long that'll last. We'll see.
But if you follow our beacons, it's easier because it'll just take you there, and then you'll see the link to the podcast. If you don't like watching our faces on YouTube, I don't blame you. At least go for the tits. But
they're good.
If you just go on YouTube, just search Burning Eden Podcast. It'll come up. We're on episode, like I said, like 96, 97, which is awesome.
We're close to 100, so
we're awesome. There. And lots of exciting things coming up.
Yes.
And if you like Twitter, I guess. Why? I don't know. I'm on Twitter too.
I'm on Twitch. I'm a gamer at Meltreefiddy. It's all in my link tree. There's other spicy links, but I don't want to talk about that right now. But
since we already demonetized this whole episode, Mal. Mal, since we already demonetized this whole episode, why not?
If you want to see my titties, spicy link is in the fucking beacons. Yeah, there you go.
Amazing.
Demonetized. There you go.
I have a feeling now that even if we get to 1,000 followers, we're not gonna be able to monetize our podcast.
Well, so apparently YouTube, like one of the new rules is like you can't say a curse word within the first 15 seconds.
What?
Yeah. So YouTube is fucking garbage anyway, too. But we'll see. We'll see if we get there.
Oh no! Sorry, guys.
Sorry.
Amazing, guys! I want to thank you so much for being so generous with your time, for meeting with us, for
thank you for
introducing us
having us
to the world of Baph and Mel, and I'm sure we're going to see much more of you guys.
Yes,
and
we would love to have you on our show, Dean.
Oh yeah,
because South Africa, holy shit, it's amazing.
Yeah, it's worth it, Dean. You're just gonna need more alcohol. So it's
more lube.
That's a good point. Yeah. Always bring that. Yeah.
You wanted it's like replacing a towel. Always bring a towel.
That's very good advice for any situation in life.
Also, we have a new application if you want to become a guest with our podcast. Let us know. It's in that link tree. I'm sorry, beacons in the comments. It'll be like the second link. It just says application, and you just fill out your information, and we might get in touch with you. Yeah.
Fun times.
Amazing.
That's awesome.
Thank you so much, guys. We'll catch you out there.
Thank you.
Bye.